The first light of morning stretches lazily across the horizon, painting the runway in hues of soft gold and muted gray as the private jet touches down with a gentle hiss, barely disturbing the quiet air. You're already there, standing still at the base of the stairs, like you always are. No crowd, no flashbulbs, just the distant roar of the engines winding down and the familiar weight of silence that seems to follow him everywhere these days. When he finally appears at the top of the steps, his hood is pulled low, his frame slightly hunched, moving with the fatigue of someone who hasn't rested properly in days. He doesn't say anything. He never does at this hour. He just meets your eyes for a split second, gives that faint nod, the one that says he's ready to face another day, even if he's not sure he has the energy to. Before the tires even stop turning, you're already unbuckled, fingers on the door handle. You know how this goes. The moment the door cracks open, the illusion shatters. Paparazzi surge like a tide, voices raised, lenses flashing. Their desperation stains the air. You step out first, moving instinctively into position, becoming the line between him and the world. You absorb the chaos, your body language steady, unfazed. He walks behind you, head down, trusting you to part the noise like a sea. When the elevator doors glide shut behind you, it's like stepping into another dimension, one where the noise disappears and only breath remains. He leans against the mirrored wall, the tension in his frame finally beginning to unwind. The lights overhead buzz faintly, casting a soft glow over both of you. He doesn't speak for a while, just watches the floor numbers blink by. Then in a voice so quiet it barely exists, he asks, "You think they'll ever stop watching?" You glance his way and offer a small nod. Not because you believe it, but because he needs you to pretend you do. In this job, sometimes comfort means lying with kindness. The night stretches into early morning as you sit in a darkened studio, the soft glow of the mixing board the only light in the room. He's in the booth again, sleeves rolled, headphones on, his voice raw from hours of repetition. He's been chasing a single line, not for perfection, but for truth. You can hear it in every take, in the slight crack when emotion breaks through. You watch from your chair near the wall, still, patient. These moments aren't about showmanship. They're about healing. Out there, he performs for millions. But in here, he sings for himself, and you're the only witness. The next evening, you find yourselves in a house that could be mistaken for a palace, its marble floors and glimmering chandeliers masking the emptiness inside. The party is in full swing, laughter too loud, drinks too expensive, conversations stitched together from curated lines. He sits off to the side, phone in hand, disengaged. You keep your distance, but your eyes are on him. Always. When a girl approaches, phone half raised behind her drink, you move before she can act. A slight reposition, a glance, a subtle block. It's enough. He sees you, offers the smallest nod, the kind that says, "Thanks," the kind that means, "I saw that," the kind you've come to understand completely. Later that night, you're back in the car, city lights drifting past in a blur. Neon diner signs flicker on mostly empty streets. He's slouched in the back seat, hoodie drawn over his face, speaking softly. "Remember when we could just go places?" he says. Like, walk into a diner, sit down, just be. You glance at him through the mirror. No words, just a nod. He places an order, fries and a shake, and when the bag arrives, he passes it forward, offering half with a tired smile. It's not much, but for a moment, the world feels normal. Morning creeps back in, and with it, the need for stillness. You take a spontaneous turn toward the beach, craving open sky and rolling tides. The sand is cool beneath your feet, the ocean whispering its age-old rhythm. He walks ahead barefoot, letting the breeze tousle his hair, his guard lowered for once. It's peaceful. It feels like something close to freedom, until it doesn't. The first click of a shutter is followed by a dozen more, then the shouting starts. He stops, turns slowly, his voice steady but sharp. "Back off, bro. Seriously." You move between him and the crowd, not with force, but with presence. You've learned that presence alone, when rooted in certainty, can be enough to quiet a storm. As the chaos recedes and you both walk back toward the car, something soft interrupts the silence. A young girl stands at the edge of the path, holding a notebook against her chest like it might fly away if she doesn't. She doesn't scream or push forward. She just waits. He sees her, walks over, asks her name, signs her notebook. She tells him how his music helped her mom during chemo, how they listened every night before bed. He kneels down and hugs her gently, and in that moment everything else fades. The flashes, the voices, the noise. Back at the hotel, the air feels thicker, like it's holding its breath. He paces the room, running his hands through his hair, wrestling with thoughts that won't give him peace. I don't even know who I am anymore, he says, voice barely holding itself together. You don't try to fix it. You just stay nearby, solid and steady, the way a lighthouse doesn't chase a ship, but never lets it lose the shore. Eventually, he settles on the floor, pulling up old YouTube clips. The version of him that stares back from the screen is younger, lighter, full of hope. He watches quietly as that boy sings to a world not yet turned cynical. They loved me before I even knew who I was, he says. And you know he's not just talking about them. He's talking about himself too. Later, when the weight becomes too much, he sends you a message, rooftop. You meet him there, high above the streets, where the skyline flickers like a heartbeat. He's leaning on the railing, hoodie drawn up, staring out at the endless lights. Up here, he says, I forget what they want from me. You stand beside him in silence. Sometimes the only relief from the noise is being where it can't reach. The next afternoon, as the car rolls through an older part of town, he points out a crumbling skate park, sun-bleached ramps and rusting rails. Pull over, he says. He walks through the space slowly, each step stirring up old ghosts. Used to sneak out here, he murmurs, before all of this. He stands still for a long time, as if trying to remember who he was before the world made him someone else. That night, without warning, he says he wants to record. There's no team, no producers, just him and the piano. The studio is dark except for the soft glow of one lamp. He plays slowly at first, then with more purpose, as if something buried deep inside has started to surface. You sit quietly in the back, knowing you're witnessing something real, something no one else will ever hear. The next evening after dinner, a man approaches, older, nervous, voice shaking. Hey man, he says, I just wanted to say thanks for getting me through things I didn't think I'd survive. Justin doesn't smile, doesn't pose. He just nods, reaches out, and shakes the man's hand. No cameras, no attention, just one human seeing another. And then, just like that, it's time to go again. The runway stretches ahead, bathed in fading sunlight. Another jet hums softly in the background, waiting to carry him to the next city, the next stage, the next expectation. He climbs the steps slowly, pausing halfway to glance back at you. You coming? You lift your bag and follow, like always. Inside the cabin, he finally sleeps. The lines in his face soften. The tension in his hands unwinds. Outside, the world spins, loud and relentless, always wanting something. But in this small, suspended moment, there is calm. He is not the brand, the name, or the controversy. He is not the headline. He's just a man trying to breathe. And you're the one who makes that breath possible. And for tonight, for this fleeting, fragile moment, that's enough.